my name is Abraham Cruzvillegas. We are at the Tate installing my work, Autoconstruccion.
Do you think it's heavy?
It consists of a series of sculptures and paperwork that were made in Scotland in 2008. So these sculptures were made with materials that I found there, both in Glasgow and in the countryside in Cove Park. Wood, wire mesh, coins, screws, sheep shit. We have just like spread a bit, no? Wire, plaster, cardboard, hair, wool, a boy, some sweat and blood. The title, Autoconstruccion, is related to a process of building houses mainly. In Mexico we call it autoconstrucción, which means self-building. And this is people building their houses with, slowly in time, without money. The specific case is my parents' house. My parents went to Mexico City from the countryside and they invaded a plot of land along with many other people. It was meant to be not inhabited by people, only maybe by wild plants and snakes or rats, I don't know. But they took the land illegally and they started building the houses with the materials they found there, but also with some other materials like found wood or discarded materials from other neighborhoods. It's not related to the do-it-yourself thing, because I think do-it-yourself is more like a hobby. Autoconstrucción is more the result of a history that is about the failure of the promise of consumption. I use materials that are discarded, but also materials that will change in time. It's more than a metaphor. It's like activating dynamics that I think are related to the way of constructing my parents' house and also some other houses in my neighborhood. The piece on the wall is a collection of papers painted with wall paint, and it's something that anybody can do. And I make this collection of papers collecting the tickets from Glasgow to Helensburgh, or the tickets from the laundry or from the restaurant, postcards from friends, drawings I make in napkins, and also images from the newspaper that I find interesting or shocking in terms of describing what's happening in our world every day. And like today, I just cut out a portrait of Gaddafi from the newspaper, so I would include this in this kind of work. It's like an accumulation of information, but information that you cannot see. So I call them blind self-portraits. And this self-portrait is from the period I spent in Glasgow and Cove Park, but also from before, from Italy and from France and from Mexico. So there is this clash of economies or economic systems and cultures and politics. And then I show them along with these object-based sculptures that are, all of them are made with things I found there in the streets of Glasgow, but also in the countryside. When I collect these materials to make my work, I try to understand what people is discarding and why, and also what they are consuming, and how these materials that are discarded, they can still be alive for me. In a museum or in a gallery, I try to set it as people can make their own construction. I would like people to see what I'm looking at when I see one of my sculptures. I think there is no representation, almost never. Shape from here, you know, it's how it changes. It's more like a system of dialogues more than transformations. Transformation occurs when people are looking at them, I hope, because they are adding some new meaning to them, so they are becoming something else, and it's not something that I can control.